Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Before we start, just a quick disclaimer: anything we discuss is just for educational purpose, nothing is financial advice. All right guys, so crazy day. Of course, NVIDIA earnings today. We did an after hours trade on NVIDIA. We'll discuss that trade and review the NVIDIA earnings as well. If you want more interested in that, you can go to the end of this video. NVIDIA is right at the end. But otherwise, also we had a decent day. Big sell-off on the Bitcoins, big sell-off on Ethereum names. So we're going to recap that, how you could profit all day with the short setups, holding your shorts. We'll take a look at those. We'll take a look at Lily trades, the strong names, TMDX. We'll take a look at a couple of losers. But we'll talk a little bit about SPY QQQ. So I'll cover a lot of concepts today. How to trade a sector weakness, how to trade a sector strength or a weakness, how to know a sector is weak, or in this case in crypto, how to trade those crypto stocks. Then we'll talk about earning setups. Of course, we'll talk about NVIDIA and the leverage ETFs. How do you trade those leverage ETFs as well? So a lot to learn today. I will try to go fast today because I'm trying to get this video out quick. So most of the trade recaps I will go pretty quick, and so pay attention. Just a quick introduction. Anybody who's new, anybody who new to our YouTube, new to our X accounts, or new to me, we trade a repeatable system called Ripster EMA Cloud system, the system that I've been teaching from 7-8 years freely on X. We also trade this system in our community, one of the largest live educational community online, Tanner Trade Group. We trade all our setups there live. We create a pre-market live game plan. What stocks we're going to play. I highlight the main plays as a red. We have initial buys based upon our repeatable system. System is how you trade, setup is what you trade. We trade these setups, and we provide a lot of other stuff in the pre-market as well. We have our day 2 setup, which was a strategy that I did a free webinar on X as well. We trade futures. We provide future levels, so you guys could trade that. We trade crypto stocks, which of course we're going to discuss, and then we provide the levels for SPY indices and the Mag 7s. I'm usually live. On voice and on live screen in my community. Thousands of traders are on our community all day, sharing ideas with each other, finding opportunities. We have a lot of tools. We have stock scanners, option scanners, 3 option scanners, breaking news alerts, hold, unholds, order flows. We have all the tools that a trader needs in our community, which are worth $500-600, freely available for the community members. I will show you my timestamp guidance, and our repeatable concepts that we trade in community, and I'll show you how we trade those and what was my guidance and how you can learn those lessons. You can repeat those concepts for whole your life, be it Ripster clouds, MTF cloud, my VIX strategy, everything that I teach or share on X as well. You can learn from my recaps. There's thousands of recaps on YouTube. You can go watch it. You can learn from my free website called ripstereducation.com, or you can also go to our Tanner Trade Group website, and we have webinars there as well if anybody interested to learn from those in our community. Anyways, that was a quick introduction. Let's go through. There's a lot to cover, and let's start with the first play. All right, the first play we're going to talk about is Google. Okay, so Google was our big play in the community today. So let's take a look. Let's see. So Google had news yesterday. So when something had news yesterday, remember Berkshire Hathaway, they bought a big in it, or yesterday or day before, but today was. So not only that, Google also released its latest version of Gemini, which was getting rave reviews, right? So Google also had that AI news as well, but Google was one of our top plays this morning. Let's look at our pre-market levels on Google. So Google support was 287.47, 286, resistance was 289, and 290 was our resistance. So when I saw Google this morning, it was the strongest names. So it was the strongest name on Google. But then when it was about to break out, I looked at the Google daily chart, which was breaking out. Right, so Google daily chart was breaking out. Of course, it pulled back a little, but let's see, it was breaking out of this was the breakout. So this is the breakout. So this was the breakout, right? So this is the breakout. I told the traders, I told them this is the strongest stock in the market, and it also has a daily breakout. As soon as it pushed over that level, it was a long, and I was very confident about it. I told my traders that you are going to get a 300. 300, and then if it breaks 300, I gave the 300 magnet in the morning only. I gave it 9:37, and I'll show you we hit the 300, and I said if the 300 pushes, the next target will be 305. So that was our Google trade, and the traders held on to Google. And you could trade the leverage ETFs as well, which is GLL. You could trade GGLL. So a lot of traders was on those trades in the morning. GGLL was also a good leverage ETF. A lot of traders traded GGLL, so you could trade that GGLL as well, right? So you see from the 290 yesterday's highs breaks out, Google pushed all the way to 300. I gave the 300 magnet early in the morning, 9:37, and we pushed to 300 in next 10-15 minutes. We broke out of 300, we pushed to 305. So you could you traded the leverage ETFs. Even if you traded at 88, it hit 95. You made $7 per share profit there. And if you were trading options, which you could of course trade Google options. So Google options, let's take a look. If we were trading 295, a lot of traders are 300s. So Google options went from $3 to $10, right? Literally you could make 200% gains on your position. This is how you trade it. So why was it a long? It was the strongest name. It was a daily breakout. I mentioned the daily breakout. It was close to 300. So anything which is between 290 and 300, we look for the 300 magnet. So made it a really good play, and it topped out at 1010. When it didn't hold 300, I told the traders to reduce your position, and then we finally stopped out when Google broke this 298 512 clouds. This is where we exit. This is where you long. You take most of your profits here, you keep some runners, and then you exit everything here. You make a judgment call to exit if it doesn't hold 300, but system told us to exit everything here, and we exited. All right, so let's look at the big plays. Let's start with coin and MSTR. Let's take a look here. So it was a huge day. So something you need to know is you need to do a sector analysis, how the sector is doing. Even when the market was pushing in the morning, I keep on my screen up the Bitcoin. We are watching the Bitcoins. We are watching BTC. We're watching it, and we're watching to see that if it is holding the trend or not. So that's something we are watching every day as well. So let's look at the plan here on where's our plan here. Let's take a look. Yeah, so we had a plan. We had coin on our plan. Of course we had MSTR as well. We'll take a look here. The coin plan today was neutral bias, 1 hour MTF, resistance above, and here are all our crypto levels. Look at the coin level, look at the MSTR support levels, look at these levels, right? So that Bitcoin is breaking a bear flag. I discussed the bear flag on X yesterday, when that it's bearish. When the sector is breaking a key pivot, you look at the individual names that can move with the sector. Right, so we'll go to Ethereum later. Let's look at the Bitcoin first. So you see that, okay, it's fine. We can look at Ethereum as well. So you can see that Ethereum was also breaking a key pivot, right, a big level. So when Bitcoin is breaking that level, you need to profit if the crypto stocks go down, right? So you need to profit that. As soon as the market opened, even though the market was doing pretty good, I saw weakness in the crypto names. I'll go to other names as well. I saw the weakness in MSTR, right? So MSTR was pretty weak. MSTR was pretty heavy, right? So you see that MSTR, the plan was short under MTF 202, 1 hour MTF and 200 psychological level. 1 hour MTF and 200 psychological level. So what MSTR did? Rejected. Bitcoin is heavy. You short it. You buy the puts, or you trade leverage ETFs, which I teach you often, MSTU or MSTZ. When MSTR goes down, you buy MSTZ, right? So you do that. There are many ways to make money with that. So MSTR puts is good. Trading in the leverage ETFs is good. Same thing for the coin. I had the plan on the coin as well. So although coin kind of flushed later in the day, but initial flush was MSTR. So the plan I gave was crypto names are all bearish. Do not touch them long. You can short it. I was on the voice. I told the traders short it. They already had the pre-market plan to how to short coin. There was a level of when it breaks 261, and of course the MSTR plan was to short it if we broke under that MTS and 202s and 200s, right? So there's so much conviction. The sector is bearish. MSTR is breaking 1 hour Ripster MTF cloud, which is 1 hour clouds, which tell us it's a long or short. So it was bearish, right? So the coin, the target I gave on coin was 250. So 250 target I gave the traders. We hit 257. So we hit our 250. Then even after 250 we hit 257. So all the targets I gave the traders, we met it, even though it was not 100% ATR. So it was a beautiful trade. Now if you want to look at MSTR, let's take a look here. So MSTR, I gave the traders 190 target, 190. So 190 target on MSTR. We hit the 190 target. Then next target I gave was 185. We hit the 185 target. Both the targets were met. It doesn't matter how you trade it, but the key is you hold as long as Ripster clouds hold all the way down. You buy the puts. If you are not watching the pre-market planning, if you are a little late, you buy less. You don't have to go crazy sizing, right? Of course, MSTR's options are usually expensive. Let's say you're trading 185 puts, which went from 250 all the way to 850. You buy less. You buy 2 of them for $500. If you have 50% risk based upon the 10-minute clouds charts, and what those $5 became $2,000. So you get a smaller position, right? Or if you don't want to trade that, then you go buy MSTZ. So you buy MSTZ over the 1 hour MTF clouds, you buy 1,000 shares here, put 10-15 cent stop, risking $150. End of the day, you are already almost making a couple $1,000s on that move. 11 to 13, that's a $2,000 per profit. So that's how you trade the crypto stocks. You do the leverage ETFs, you use the Ripster clouds, you watch the sector, and you make profit with that. Huge trade for us today. I did all day. My comments were on all day on X as well. You can see that. Today I was talking about, all I was talking about was the crypto. I tweeted about in the morning as well. Cryptos are short. So you can see here all the pre-market planning, all the recap. So this is how you really grow your accounts when you find these home run trades. You can actually go back and you will find a watch list where we traded the crypto long, just like this, right? So learn to trade the crypto stock when Bitcoin is doing crazy, and you will make good growth in your accounts. All right, so similarly, let's look at stable coins, and let's look at Ethereum play BMNR. So Circle, of course, Circle, I have been talking about the bearish chart on Circle for a long time. I have been talking about how bearish it is. The number one rule you need to know is when we break a key support on a weekly chart, we will go to the next support. And in this case, the weekly support was $100. It's a psychological level. Then I've been saying that for some time that we are going down and we are going to go to the IPO lows. 69 was the IPO open price. Of course, we're going to touch that. So Circle, when it was breaking 100, I told everyone that when something breaks 100, you run away and don't look back. It's going to go much lower. Even when we were hitting 78, I told everyone we are going to IPO lows. So you can swing short as well. Of course, there was a time when we ran Circle all the way up, like we did a stable coin trade. You can find it, but this was time to short it. And you see from November 17, today we hit 70s, and the Circle was going to their IPO lows from the IPO opening price as well. So let me show you my Circle timestamp guidance, so how traders in the community. So we had Circle as one of our top plays as well. Take a look here on Circle. So let's take a look. So the plan on Circle was simple: short under 76.9 or 1 hour MTF rejections. That was the plan on Circle. The other trades we also had was we were watching was our BMNR trade, which is also our Ethereum trade that we were trading. So let's take a look at our Circle here. So as soon as in the morning, I told the traders the Circle is super bearish, you can short it, and the target I gave on Circle, as I told you, was IPO lows. The second target I gave was 65, and I also guided the traders on this bear flag breakdown at 10 a.m. and along with MSTR and coin, and Circle was also really good. We didn't really hit our 65 target, but we did close our short right here at 68, and at the 68 I told the traders you can curl it versus 68. curl versus 68. So you could long at 68.50 and then you could get it back. If you want to swing, it's up to you. You never know. I mean, it's bouncing in NVIDIA, but you could see that this is where the curl was and this is where we exited our short. So short with the system, circle all the way down based upon the daily, weekly charts. You could trade the options on circle. Really, they were expensive, but they did move really nicely. They went from $1 to $3, couple of 100% gain, not bad. And then the other one, we were trading BMNR. So on the BMNR short, I gave the target of 30. When it started to break down, I gave the target of yesterday lows, and I alerted to the traders at 10:30 that BMNR is also joining the short on the circle MSTR coin, and BMNR you target yesterday lows there, and 30 was all there, and then next was 29, and then we finally exited when it broke the 28 and 90. Tried the curls, gave up $1 on the call, and then it failed. But anyways, this is how we trade. We traded this Ethereum based BMNR, and we traded the stable coin circle. This is how you trade the crypto stock, guys. This is how you find the opportunities. When they go up, you long them. Same way you short it, we will long them. Use the leverage ETF, use the options. When it goes up, we'll do the same sector analysis and same analysis of the individual names, have a pre-market planning, and we will trade them alongside as well. All right, so next of the recaps, I'm going to go a little fast here. Let's start with the next recap I'm going to take a look at is Lilly. So let's take a look at Lilly. So what was our plan on Lilly? So Lilly, our plan today was pre-market. I was too focused on the other names, but we did have plan on Lilly. So Lilly was, let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Lilly was our day to play, long on the 512 curls over the 1 hour MTFs. So what happened was Lilly, as soon as it pushed over the 135 1 hour MTF, just like the pre-market planning, I told the traders that our target is 150, and it just pushed, and it was also a daily breakout. Again, it was a daily breakout, and it pushed to the 150. It was a relative strength there on Lilly. So next one we're going to look at is Tesla. The important thing, guys, to learn here is the morning first move. The morning first move, and then you have to watch the secondary move. The first move was a short. If you see, there was a 20 minutes, Tesla went from 406 to 400. So that's why it was a short right here, and you just need to be fast on covering that, and you need to move the stops down. And then it was a long over this 1 hour MTF cloud, MTF to MTF, where it did the MTF magnet from the 1 hour cloud to this. Recently I added a new, the daily MTFs. This was a daily 3450 MTF, which was, or maybe it was a 512 MTF. But the point is that I think it's a 512. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is a 512 MTF, and that's what it hit on the 512 MTF. Yeah, 512. So those are 512 MTF. So MTF magnet. So you long it on this curl right here, and you cover your shorts. And this was also, my traders already know this, and this was our plan. You can watch the playlist on trading how to trade Tesla. Tesla was 1 hour MTF long over, short under. So you long over 1 hour MTF. As soon as you see it pushing, actually you can start the longs right here, because there was a pivot at 405. You long right here, hold your longs into the target, and we pulled back later in the day. We'll cover in SPY QQQ recap. All right, so next one we're going to look at is let's take a look at TMDX. Okay, so let's look at TMDX. All right, so TMDX was on our plan. The key thing to note is, guys, whenever CEO purchases the share, it's a very big news. It's a huge news. So TMDX CEO was purchasing the shares. The plan was to long over 121, bullish bias, right? And I was very busy in the other trades, but RGV, the great trader in the community, he was guiding continuously on that trade. In the morning, he told everybody to long on that 10-minute candle pullback right here. He longed it, and he gave the target of 128, and TMDX pullback adds all day long. 128 target we hit nicely, and he added the 122s, and I told them that we can move the stops up at 127. You just keep moving the stops up, and then I told them to move the stops 128, move the stops to 130. RGV almost got $10 per share profits on that. If you're risking over the risk right here of this entry, your risk was $2. That means on 100 shares you're risking $200, but you're making $1,000 risking those $200. So that was a beautiful trade. Remember, whenever there's a news that CEO is buying a shares, it's a very big news. You need to follow that. So that was a news play. This is how you focus on those news plays. So next one, there was another news-based play today in the community. The traders were trading MP. So MP was our MTF magnet setup. Was a pretty good MTF magnet. And the pre-market planning, let's take a look quickly. Look at pre-market planning on MP. MP, our plan was trade versus daily MTF. No longer under 512. It was an MTF cloud system, breakout over 6250. So MP, the thing I'm going to talk about is this MTF magnet. You take it long right here on the 512 curls. You take it from this clouds all the way to the next MTF clouds. So that was a combination of the cloud system on the next MTF cloud. So that was an MTF magnet long. All right, so next one we're going to talk about is bullish. Bullish was a recent IPO which had earning today. It was, it was a loser for us because the short didn't work for us. We showed it right here at this drop on 35. It bounced right back and we had to close our position right here at 36.20. I mean, it did pull back, but at that time it was not worth it. Because when you don't see a new low at 10 a.m., most likely the short is not going to work. And sometimes we can always rehit when it fails, but you see that if we added the short here, we already know that we have a dollar risk. Even if though we flushed, we did not cover, and then we lost this money on right here, the 512s. All right, so next setup we're going to look at is Home Depot. So let's look at Home Depot. So Home Depot was our day 2 setup. This is one of the concepts I teach. I did a free webinar. The webinar is in the community as well. What is a day 2, day 3 strategy? How to trade the day 2, day 3 strategy, especially anything which has earnings. It's our day 2 setup, right? The plan was to long over 340, short under 338 with the Ripster EMA clouds. As soon Home Depot breaks here, you take a short. It holds the yesterday lows. You hold your short. And that was the planning, day 2 short. I told the traders in the morning, and Home Depot ran the short from all the way to 337. By end of the day, we hit 331. Even if you were a little late on Home Depot, you still got like 335s. You got this bounce of 335s all the way to 331s, right? So another day 2 setup was PDD, similar short setup. If you see PDDs, let's look at the day 2 concept. The plan was to short under 120 or the break of 512s, right? So as soon as you see that PDD is breaking, staying under the 120, breaking under yesterday lows, you short it, put your stops on the 512s, buy the puts. You could easily make, risking $1,000, you could easily make a couple $1,000 on this trade on the short side. All right, so next one we want to look at is Adobe. So Adobe was our all-day short as well. I told the traders to short any pops to 320. You can short it, and Adobe did pop to 320, gave a short, and then faded to 315. You could make some profits there, but you had to wait for the pop to short it as well. Let's go to the next one. Next one we're going to talk about is NBIS. So what did NBIS do for us? NBIS was our morning long, but we stopped out on it. Let's take a look at the news on NBIS. What was the news on NBIS? The news on NBIS was long over 92.50, right? And then when neoclouds were showing the strength on NBIS, when the neoclouds were showing the strength, you longed them over that 92.50. I told the traders to long it versus 92s. So we are risking like 50-60 cents on this long right here on 93s, 92 70s, 80s, and we did go to 96.72. Not a huge move, $3 profit. We moved our stops up. You can see the timestamp guidance, and we got out. So we're risking like $1,000, and we made like $1,500. That's kind of trade it was. It was okay. We'll be on watch tomorrow. All right, so next one we're going to look at is SPY QQQ today. So SPY QQQ was interesting today. The reason it was interesting, it was just purely VIX strategy, right? So let's just go to the VIX strategy. Let's look at the pre-market plan. I'm just going to read carefully on the pre-market plan. VIX 24 important today. For market to bounce, VIX needs to fade under 2370. If VIX pushes over 24, then short the market. otherwise we long the market, right? So even though when the market opened, I was a little hesitant because there was so much resistance, everything was not running. So I was not really super confident to take risk too much, and it was also an inside day. What is inside day? If you go to the inside candle, you see it was trading inside that yesterday's candle, so it was an inside candle. But our VIX strategy did work out. It broke 2370 and we got these curls right here, we got these curls right here, longs, and I will show you my timestamp guidance how we traded that. So let's look at our all day plan on SPY QQQ, right? So initially we started bearish. We did do it live every day. So let's take a look at SPY here and QQQs here. So as soon initially bearish start, I told the traders you could curl scalp. I said it on the voice. Stops were 60, 61, stops were 598. When VIX is so high, VIX is so volatile, the moves are big, the range is big, and you see the VIX is curled from here. Initial stop, SPY pushed all the way to 667, QQQ pushed from 598 all the way to 605, right? VIX is high, that's how you get 100% ATR in first 30 minutes. And I told the traders to hold their longs into 10 a.m. Hold their longs into 10 a.m. Curl scalps, use these stops, buy here, hold them into 10 a.m. Buy here, hold that into 10 a.m. And we topped actually at 10:10 we topped. And the reason we topped is, if I show you my VIX strategy, VIX bounced from 22. I did tell traders, if VIX breaks 22, we will go lower, but if VIX bounces from 22, over empty, then we're gonna get rejections. And you look here, where did it bounce? 2193, the level. When it pushed over 23, and then we exited. I'll show you where we exited right here. So we exited right here. Rejections from the clouds, 1 hour MTF fail, and rejections here. We exited here, and a lot of traders did a short. At the same time, if you look at VIX went back from 22 all the way to 24. So today it was all about VIX strategy, shorting using VIX because volatility is high. This is a lot of opportunity to make money in the markets. VIX 24 to 22 market longs, VIX 22 to 24 market fades. That simple strategy, guys. We move on the shorts. You could move initially stops were here, and then you move it lower. SPX calls went couple 100%. A lot of traders did really good today on SPX and on the SPY and all of these names. It was really good day, right? Both ways. Many traders, I can show you so many traders in the community who traded it both ways, right? They traded Google both ways, they traded SPY both ways, because this is the beauty, right? Georgian took SPX calls at the open and puts from the VIX breakout. So VIX strategy has been changing them. VIX strategy has been changing life from 2020. VIX strategy has been changing life from 2020. It's not the first time I'm teaching it. You can learn it from ripstereducation.com. We trade it live every day. As long as VIX is higher, it's a lot of opportunity for traders. Not a good place for swing traders, but remember, when VIX is high, the gap ups and gap downs will be big too. So use the VIX strategy, learn the VIX strategy, trade both ways, learn the Ripster clouds, and you will find consistent success in the market, and keep the loser small. All right, so let's talk about NVIDIA. Okay, so the whole market was dependent on NVIDIA. Everybody was praying NVIDIA does something. We knew that NVIDIA earnings would be good. We already knew that, but how good and what would be the market response? So this is how good the NVIDIA earning was. For a company which is almost 5 trillion, growing at 60% EPS revenue, it's crazy. Revenues growing at 62% is going crazy. Look at that. This is the revenue and EPS sequentially from 2024, from 22 billion last year, Feb, to 57 billion. What it was making in 2 quarters is making in 1 quarter. Right? Earnings growing from 130. The same thing. Always compare the last quarter. Compare the last quarter of the last year same quarter to this quarter. You see it was 0.81 and it's 130. It's a 60% increase in EPS. That's a solid growth. And the revenue was 57 billion. Right, from 22 billion. So earning was crazy. We'll talk about earning trade later, but let's take a look a little bit more here. So you see that across the board, EPS increasing, revenue increasing, data center revenue 66% up. Our research team creates this. If you're interested in these reports, follow Talent Research. So we were up 66%, gaming revenue up 30%, 30%, automotive 32%. Their income is 37 billion, the profit, and it was overall really good earnings, right? So everything. Also, other key points before we go there: data center revenue was 90% of the total revenue. It's making more money with the data centers because of all the AI and stuff, right? And it has partnership with OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Oracle, everybody buying NVIDIA GPUs. So they are to thank for this. Even Anthropic, a big private company, is coming to NVIDIA to buy the Blackwell. Right, they are building their 7 new supercomputers. You can read all this, in our research report. But the point is, such a good earnings. Never seen before. Company so big and growing at such a rapid pace. Now, is it sustainable? Well, if the AI boom stays, it's sustainable, because it's what market is willing to pay. It's not what we decide. It's the market, what market is willing to pay. So that's what we do it. So when we got the earnings in the pre-market after hours, we were ready for. So before we review the rest of the NVIDIA earnings and rest of the stocks which are moving with NVIDIA, let's see how did we trade it, right? So what do we trade it? So I'm not in a big favor of doing earning lot of gambles. Everybody was too much into gambling. You don't have to do it. You can trade leverage ETF. So let me show you here. So we were, before the earnings, I told the traders in the community that we're gonna trade SOXL or SOXS, right? Or we can trade NVDL, NVDS. So these are the leverage ETFs you can trade after hours, after the earning comes. So you don't have to gamble the earning lottos to do that. Even if you're a small account, there are many leverage ETFs that you can trade, rather than trading the options which have high IV, and it's just a cash grab, social media gambling thing that you see people making crazy money. So anyways, the point is, we traded the leverage ETFs, we traded NVIDIA, we traded the semiconductor leverage ETF. So as soon as I saw that the earnings is good, now our first job is to find a risk level, right? So I gave the long on NVDL, NVDA, SOXL. I told the traders to long those. You could see at 421, right at the 420 when the earnings came up. But what were the levels, right? So if you want to look at NVIDIA level, so NVIDIA, once it pushed over that 190 level, so that was our risk level, right? There was MTF clouds there all the way. So I told the traders in the community that any pullback on NVIDIA on 190, use it as a long setup. 190 area, that's your stops, right? So that was your stops and your targets. Let's take a look here at our and I told them right away that it's going to go to 200, because whenever something is trading between that 190 195 level, 200 is always the magnet, right? So, and then you have to watch for the flag. So let's see, where was the flag here? You see, this was, if you can go to 3-minute and initial earning moves, you see this was the flag. So I told the traders, if we're going to push over that, then we're going to go to high of the day target. So let me show you. So I told the traders to move the stops up on NVDA, move the stops up on SOXL. So you could trade that SOXL as well, because it was pushing from the 1 hour MTF clouds. Of course, the whole market was going up, so you could long that as well. So we hit our targets on NVIDIA. We hit our high of the day from the 3-minute flag. We hit our 195 target. I gave that 195 target as well early, and then we were waiting the call, and then we didn't really hit our 200 target, but we got almost close. So using the Ripster clouds on a 3-minute chart or a 10-minute chart, and using the MTF clouds as your risk, you could trade this long after earnings. SOXL really worked out pretty well for us, and VDL worked out pretty well for us, and all my traders, no one was gambling. Yes, if you have small account, you could still buy something like NVDX. Even if you buy 50 shares, you're fine, right? If you're small account, that's what you want. You don't want to gamble whole your small account in those names. But anyway, so this is how we traded our, in the after hour for a beautiful long trade on NVIDIA, NVDA, SOXL. Now you always need to create your watch list. So I had created this watch list, which I can show you here, of all the names, extended hours, what they were doing. Maybe 1 second, let me show you there.